Hello everyone, I'm Wade, your knowledge host. 2020 has proven to be a hard and even fatal year for some. I trust that most, if not everyone, would dream of getting back to a pre-pandemic world. However, that world is likely non-existent anymore. It's hard to imagine walking into a confined space and see people without masks, which shows this virus has certainly changed the world. Entering a post-pandemic world can be unsettling for many of us. A Mercer survey indicated that 43% of American companies will continue with remote work for the foreseeable future. On the other hand, while some employers prepare for staff to return to on-site work, there are still mixed feelings among workers. Some people are eager to swap their makeshift home office for a dedicated workspace and meeting with colleagues in person. Others are used to the lives they've built and the routine they've created during the pandemic. Another recent survey in the States indicated that nearly 2/3 of the employees are worried about the transition back to work. Known as the Queen of Real Estate, Kiki Chan, a celebrity writer, has served as a physical trainer to hundreds of other celebrities such as Vivian Xu, Takeshi Kaneshiro, Wang Lihong, Angela Chang, and Fish Liao. She has also written filler lyrics for albums of Jackie Chan, Sammy Chen Shouwen, and Valen Xu. Kiki believes the key to finding a balanced life is to think positively, and in certain cases, even backwards.
就是我觉得当大家很害怕的时候，
I think when we encounter fear, we should consider the opportunity we are awarded because of this pandemic that wouldn't otherwise have worked out, such as the working class being able to work from home while still getting paid all the same, plus this way you save on the commute time as well. Isn't that great?
Vice Chairman David Lee of Taiwan's long-standing tourism agency, Southeast Travel Service Co., admitted from his experience of the SARS epidemic in 2004 that this epidemic's impacts are more severe than that of the past, causing the numbers of employees at the company to drop from 1,000 to around 700. Yet, the biggest blow came when Taiwan entered Level 3 lockdown, which resulted in a stop to all travels, including local tours. Fellow tourism agencies who couldn't sustain themselves either shut down or they had to transform and change their business models. He suggests.
我觉得可能是要运动，然后
I'd recommend to stay active. We should take advantage of this time to recharge. We could read more, watch positive content online to stay motivated. It's simple. I believe that if we are confronted with any situation, running away or sticking our head into the ground like an ostrich won't help. We must face it head on and adopt a positive attitude towards this pandemic. This storm, like every other storm, won't last forever. It's simply a matter of time before it passes by.
In times like these, it's absolutely normal to be afraid. However, to remain in a state of fear isn't good for us, says Fa Yuan Dashi of Dharma Drum, Shanghai University. Due to human nature, we tend to default to desires of greed, hatred, and delusion when we are in a state of fear. Inadvertently, we are more likely to use coarse words to instigate hatred or to speak impractically.
因为贪嗔痴这三项事实上会影响
Three vices: greed, hatred, and delusion affect the balance of our autonomic nervous system. The longer we live in this imbalanced state, the more it affects our immunity. And once our immunity is down, we become more easily infected by bacteria and viruses.
In the early 2000s, a documentary movie that subsequently turned into a book inspired countless of people around the world, encouraging them to reach their limitlessness. The Secret is the title of the film as well as the name of the book, written by Rhonda Byrne. The Secret's central message presents the idea of the law of attraction and its application throughout history among people of influence. This lines up well with the reverse thinking presented by Kiki Chan, the approach of confronting our problems head-on presented by Vice Chairman Lee, and the mindset of rejecting fear posited by Fa Yuan Fashi. Each of these is a component that complements the practice of the law of attraction.
我觉得太敏感你不一定会把事情做得好。
Being overly sensitive in life doesn't equate to being more in touch with life. Rather, it can tire you out. The constant pressure and responsibility of keeping up with your sensitivity over time can weigh heavy on one's shoulders, even to the point that it becomes hard to breathe. On the other hand, when you're more naive, one becomes less sensitive towards everything around them. Take Crowd Lou, for example. Don't you think listening to his songs, it seems to have a calming effect? Or when you see Lin Mei Xu being comfortable in her own skin, it takes away the pressure society puts on a woman's body.
Adopting a new perspective can be beneficial from an individual level. However, to a company that have no revenue, this renders void. Vice Chairman Lee said, "The only reason why Southeast travel agency is able to weather the severe impacts of the epidemic, while some of their peers are shutting down, is due to the early investment into their emergency reserve funds, as well as the reinvestment in other areas early on that allows for the company to sustain itself until now."
临时我们就做了一个团购网站。
We created a group buying website. Due to our affiliation with Kinmen Royal Liquor Co., entering the 10th year of partnership, and the release of our aged sorghum allows for a variety of products. We have made fermented bean curd and sour cabbage as subsidiary products out of the sorghum wine. Basically, it is a winery 100% invested by our company in Kinmen. So, during this time, we have colleagues who help promote and sell the alcohol, fermented bean curd, and other ancillary products. In our group shopping network, having the knowledge of what our guests usually purchase when visiting stores while traveling, such as coffee products and so on, we've started to contact the local shopping stores overseas and have become the channel to import some of these popular foreign products. That way, we can increase the variety of options on our website, while allowing our customers to still have access to their favorite overseas treats.
Conversations with Vice Chairman Lee shows that their company have adopted positive thinking early on and continues to do so in order to overcome the current adversities. Using scientific method, we can better understand the Dharma teaching of MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction, a psychological counseling method developed by the four thoughts of body, feeling, mind, and Dharma.
所谓的正念，
This so-called mindfulness is not referring to a positive mindset or a negative one. Rather, it's a mindset of impartiality. Therefore, no matter whether we are confronted with positive or negative emotions, we don't have to make a value judgment based off that. Instead, we can go beyond these emotions to truly understand the root of the matter.
James Manyaka, the chairman and director of the McKinsey Global Institute, said in his article written for the International Monetary Fund, quote, "As history has shown, choices made during crisis can shape the world for decades to come. What will remain critical is the need for collective action to build economies that deliver inclusive economic growth, prosperity, and safety for all." End quote. All this teaches us that we are not alone, we are all in this together. The more we are able to find balance in our personal lives, the better people we become. The better we can serve our community and play our part in this chaotic yet beautiful planet we call home. 接下来 Ruby 要揭晓今天 Knowledge 的学习重点。So Ruby 今天要学什么呢？
Why don't we look into the keyword of today's content?
好啊，你是说 balance 吗？
Exactly. Starting with the most commonly used, a state where things are of equal weight or force.
平衡。我们今天的主题 Finding Balance 中的 balance 就是这个意思吗？
Yep. 那你知道如果出现在账本上 balance 会是什么意思吗？
账本上平衡啊，是指收支结余的意思吗？
哇，推理能力很强。Balance 也可以做动词使用，如 balance the budget 就是指使预算收支平衡。
这用法也蛮实用的耶。还有其他的吗？
Of course. Have you heard of throw someone off balance?
Like this?
Well, yes. Thank you for the demonstration. 通常是指让某人失去平衡。
Yeah, just like you showed us.
Yep. Now try to demonstrate swing the balance.
这个好像比较难示范。Could you just tell us?
Okay. So swing the balance 是指让某事成功的关键。We can say he's hoping the new function helps to swing the balance for the app.
哦，没有想到 balance 这个字有这么多的用法。Well, I'm Wade.
I'm Ruby.
I hope in this episode of Knowledge was insightful and you learned some more English. Join us on the FUNDAY website to watch more.
See you next time.